Hello friends, this video on nutrition in animals part 13 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let us look at nutrition in some animals which primarily feed on grass, because I told you just now that different substances have different organisms have different fooding habits, and the different food items have different nutrient content. Now some food items are easy to be digested, some food items are difficult to be digested. So grass is again one such food item which contains a lot of cellulose, and cellulose is not very easy to be digested. So we will see how those animals which eat mostly on grass, how do they undergo the process of digestion. Now when we talk about grass eaters, can you think of the grass eating animals? So the first few animals that comes to your mind would be cow, deer, goat. So they are the primary grass eating animals. Cows, buffaloes, goats. So you will see that they mostly feed on plants. Not mostly, they actually only feed on plants. They do not feed on flesh or anything. So they are pure herbivorous animals. So here what we are interested to see is that how these animals are able to digest cellulose. What is special in these animals? Because cellulose is something which cannot be digested by human beings, and that is why human beings do not depend on plants or grasses primarily. We do eat some part of the plants, but we eat a lot of other stuffs like cereals, flesh, or many other pulses, cereals and all those stuff. So these animals are able to digest cellulose. So have you ever seen a cow that sometimes, even if there is no grass in the surroundings, but still sometimes you will see that it suddenly starts chewing something inside its mouth. If you closely observe how a cow eats, you will see that what they do is when they are eating grass, they will eat it, they will quickly swallow it for the time being. But again, after some time, the same grass which it had already swallowed, they bring it back inside their mouth and they start chewing it repeatedly. And that's how their process of digestion is little different from that of ours. So here in this section, we are actually trying to see what is different in the digestive system of the grass eaters. So if you look at this picture, it shows only the part that is different in their case. So they also have a food pipe, which is the esophagus, and they also have a small intestine. So the coiled tube-like structure, that is the small intestine. But if you see here, between the esophagus and the small intestine, they have a sac-like structure called rumen. And this rumen is not present in case of human beings. And this rumen plays the most important role in the digestion of cellulose. Now what happens is when a cow eats grass, initially it just takes the grass inside, quickly swallows it. Now when it swallows it, what happens? This grass goes into the rumen. So it actually passes through the esophagus, and then instead of getting into the small intestine, it goes into the rumen, and it remains stored in the rumen temporarily for some time. Okay. Now again, after some time, this grass, the partially digested grass, this partially digested grass is given a term called curd. So curd is a term which is used for partially digested. So this curd is brought back to the mouth. So the same curd is again brought back to the mouth, and then the cow chews it again. So the animal chews it again, and this process of chewing is known as rumination. So this process is called rumination. That means bringing the partially digested food back from rumen into the mouth, where it is chewed again by the animal. And this is how the cellulose gets digested, because you are actually repeating the process of digestion 2 times, and that repetition is possible due to the presence of this extra sac-like structure rumen, which can temporarily store the partially digested food. But in case of human beings, once the food reaches the stomach, it goes into the small intestine and then it cannot come back. Right? So, and in one cycle, the cellulose cannot be digested because it is little difficult to get digested. Now, this cellulose then when it remains in the rumen, what happens is that in the rumen there are certain bacteria which are present. There are certain bacteria which are present in the rumen, and these bacteria act on the cellulose and they help in the digestion of cellulose. In human beings, there is no rumen, there is no bacteria to digest cellulose. Therefore, cellulose cannot be digested in case of human beings. So this is how the digestive system of grass eaters are different from that of human beings. So they are specially designed to digest cellulose. So they have a large lumen which is present between the esophagus and small intestine. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.